Hey, what's up? It's DJ. Today we're taking an early look at a very cool mod pack for BB Mods, the Special Harvesters pack. This pack includes 4 modded machines for harvesting of beets, potatoes, onions, and vegetables. It includes a Hallam topper for cutting off the tops of sugar beets and potatoes. We've got a harvester for sugar beets, red beets, potatoes, and onions. Another self-propelled harvester for those, which doesn't need any Hallam topping. And then we have a multi-fruit harvester, which will do peas, green beans, and spinach. From the outside, these may look extremely modified. However, the specifications for these are actually fairly tame when it comes to things that I really enjoy. You're probably used to me using a Colossus, which has got a 50-meter working width. I think the largest working width on one of these is like 12. Really, you're just going to see double and triple numbers, but you're not going to see anything crazier than that. So, let's jump right in. We're going to take a look at these and hopefully find something that's going to be worth it for you guys to make your life a little bit easier. I will say that the pack is available right now at the time of recording this video on BB Mods itch page. That is PC only because console players can't download mods from third-party sites, but it is a trusted source there. I have gotten that link directly from BB Mods. We actually showed it a couple days ago in Farm Sim News from when I'm releasing this video, so if you've already got it, well, that's the same thing. Though BB Mods did not send this over to show you guys ahead of time, this is a video that I'm doing all on my own. He has given me his blessing, I guess. So that's worth something, right? All right. That was awkward. Let's jump right in. So we're actually going to start at the far end down here. We're going to start with the vegetable harvester because this could be used by anybody. You don't need any DLC equipment or any DLC stuff installed. This is the Lizard EPD 540E, and it might look familiar to you because it is a modified version from the pea harvester in the base game. As mentioned, this will do peas, spinach, and it will also do green beans, which is fantastic. And we've got quite a few specifications. 396 horsepower, which cannot be changed, variable transmission, 950 liters of fuel, it goes 15 miles an hour. And then we have a 24.5 ton weight. It does have a 5,000 liter capacity, but we could bump that up. 3.6 meter working width. Again, we could bump that up. And it goes 12 miles an hour, which I don't think we can bump that up. Let's take a look. Working width, we're going to start with that. So we have a standard set here, 6 meter unrealistic, and then we've got the 9 meter unrealistic. You're actually not going to be able to see the visible changes with this. However, if you go down here to width markers, you can actually see that. I recommend just clicking on the warning stripe and then going from there, you can actually change a few things from it. So we've got that. We can also change up the crawler track on here as well. So boom, standard set of wheels or crawler track, just like in the base game. We also have decals on here, which are super cool. So at the front and at the back, we've got the Lizard decal on there. You could also change it to the Lizard Farming. And you may notice the ILMA F at the very end of that also changes colors. And then we go over to Oxbow, and it's actually using the original decals on there. So the decals completely change, which I think is very cool. You can also debrand it. If you don't want any decals on here whatsoever, you don't have to have them. That's very, very cool. I love that. I actually kind of dig the Lizard Farming, so we'll stick that on there. But if you wanted to go Oxbow, you could do that too. Actually, you know what? Let's leave the Oxbow on there because I want to make this exactly like the base game model. Then we have capacity. So we have a 5,000 liter capacity by standard, but you can also bump that up to boosted for 10,000 liters or Unreal of 15,000 liters. So no 1 million liter capacity or 5 million or 28 million liters, nothing like that. It's just 15,000 and you'll be good to go. You don't need a whole lot of capacity for stuff anyway. If we take a look at the base game capacities for the harvesters that it's based on, we've got, let's see, 35,000 liter capacity right here. So yeah, it might not be the best a secondary harvester for running spinach, but if we jump over here to the green beans, this one's a 15,000, so you are going to be able to match that. But for pea harvesting, there you go. What does my modded version have? 40,000. So you can see it's really not needed that much. Once you got everything done, now you can select some color options, and we've got a bunch in here. So we do have colors for Lizard Green, which is super duper cool. It's actually the color that's on the wheels, and it's a color that's been made very popular by BB Mods. You've also got your Lizard Brown on there. Very cool, very cool. The Oxbow Yellow. You can just leave that on there and make the machine the same thing. It's also toothpaste. You imagine who the mod was made for. There's also an Oxbow Green, if you like that. So this is my rough take at trying to make a realistic looking machine. I don't I don't know if that's it or not. Did the real one have green wheels? I'm not sure. By the way, the accent color is just for these front bits. So if you go for the width markers, you go for the accent color. This matches perfectly with some of the other mods that he's done as well. So there's nothing different about that. Oh, these have white wheels. I need to change that. Much better. Secondly, we're going to take a look at the Lighttraxx Multi-Fruit. This one's based off of the base game Agri-Fact Lighttraxx and has some pretty neat customization. So this is a harvester. It is going to be doing your sugar beets, red beets, potatoes, and onions if you have the Highlands Fishing expansion installed, which I do. So even though we're on Riverbend Springs, I've got that installed. On here, pretty similar stuff to the other harvester, honestly, as far as customization options. Specs, of course, will be different. 469 horsepower, variable transmission, 900 liters of fuel, 15 miles an hour, 18.5 thousand liter capacity, 21 tons, 3 meters at 11 miles an hour for your working. Working width, we could bump that up to 6 or 9 meter unrealistic, just like the previous one. Wheel setups, we have the Lighttraxx, so the wheel, but we can also run the OptiTrack as well, which has been very popular with some of their other mods. That red bit stays for now. I can't figure out how to change that color, but if you wanted the tracks on there, you could run those. I'm going to run these because I can show you kind of. It looks pretty good, I think. The width markers are exactly the same as the other mod. I'm going to see it or set it to the accent color there. Decals, so as far as I can tell, the back is the only place right above the wheels. You got Lizard Farming, Agri-Fact, and then Hilaris, yeah, and then nothing. So that could be done. However, the OptiTrack logos stay on there. We're going to put that on Hilaris, man. Absolutely. Now we get down to crop configurations, and I definitely recommend going below that and going to crop decals first and then crop configuration. So it'll actually put it right here on the side, exactly what you're doing. So we got beets, so red beets and sugar beets, potatoes or onions. So specifically, it's not going to do all 4 of those crops, but it will do either both of the beets, potatoes, or onions, because it just kind of sets it as this is an onion harvester now. And I think that this might turn out to be one of the more popular onion harvesters. It can be a little bit unrealistic, but it can also be quite realistic. I also don't know if Hilaris makes anything in real life, so we're going to go from there. I've actually got a picture pulled up on the side of the stuff in the DLC. We'll see what can happen there. Capacities, so we start off with an 18,500 liter capacity, bump that up to 25, or you can bump it up to 45,000 liter capacity. It's really not that crazy when you think about it. I mean, sugar beets, 45,000 liter capacity, it's pretty on par. But for onions, this is a game changer. Now, let's also talk colors. Of course, we want to go with the Hilaris, so we're going to go with a bright orange base coat here. We also want the Hilaris green. I do not like that. How about we go with onyx? Hey, that looks pretty good, yeah. The design color at the front, we'll definitely leave that with the Hilaris green. Cool, very cool. And then we got the rim color. Now, in real life, they've got like a light gray setup for the wheels. However, what if we went with the Hilaris green setup here? It's not terrible. I don't know if I like it, but it's not awful. So lastly, we could talk about these 2 pieces of equipment right here, the 3750 Pro Topper and the 2720 Multi-Fruit. These are actually versions of the base game Amity Defoliator, and then we also have the Harvester Scrub. So you're only going to need the Pro Topper right here, the defoliator. You're only going to need this if you're doing beets. So if you're doing sugar beets or potatoes, red beets doesn't need it, and onions doesn't need it. So only sugar beets or potatoes. We'll kind of go over that last, I guess, because it's kind of the lowest common denominator piece of equipment that we've got today. But we'll do the multi-fruit. So this is basically just like the harvester that we looked at just a second ago. However, the working width is more, and it's a trailed piece of equipment. So you're not going to be running any type of big harvester. You could buy this for 175 grand instead of over $500,000, and you're good to go. Although it is a big piece of equipment for onions. Moving on. All right, so 6,500 liter capacity, 20,000 tons, 20 tons, goodness gracious. We've got a 280 horsepower requirement, so not too bad. 6.4 meter working with at 11 miles an hour. Working with, we can go up from 6.4 up to 12 meters, and then we have a 15 meter. 15 meters is the biggest that we've got right here. I think I mentioned I thought it was 12, but it is 15. Wheel brands, we can actually change these. Pretty abnormal almost. None of the other mods we could really do much with it, but we got a Trelleborg set, Michelin set, Continental, Midas, BKT, Vredestein. Very cool to be able to change that up. We also have the logos here on the side. All of them, as a matter of fact. We have Lizard, Lizard Farming, Amity Tech, Halaris, or none. Super cool. I'm going to try and build this as a Halaris piece of equipment. We'll see what happens. With markers, I'm always going to go with the accent color there because you have full control of it. Capacities, of course, we raise that to the top. So we will go back up here to the Halaris Orange. Okay, not too shabby. Then the accent will be the Halaris Green. Still don't like that, but we'll deal with it. Here, let's see. Let's go with Halaris Orange, I guess, for the working color. And then the rims, as I mentioned, this is going to be a gray, diamond plate, white, silver, light gray. Yeah, that works. What is it about this piece of equipment that doesn't actually look too bad? I like that. Lastly, let's talk about the topper. So, again, sugar beets or potatoes, you're going to need this. Working width's 6.4 meters. You can also bump that up to 15 or 12. Basically, this is all the specs of the harvester that we just looked at, the Trolled Harvester, except it doesn't harvest. And that's that. We do have a couple different wheel options to choose from. Nothing too wild and crazy, but we do have a few with markers. Of course, we've got your color options on there. Lizard, Lizard Farming, Amity, and Halaris there as well. Crop configurations for sugar beets or potatoes. So either one. Crop decal, I definitely recommend throwing that on there so you'll know exactly what you're going to be doing. We'll just stick it on a sugar beet. And then we've got our color options. If we jump over here, change it up to the Halaris Orange. Nice. Design, Halaris Green. We'll deal with it. How about we go with a Lizard Green setup there, and then rim colors. What if we change this to green? You know what? Rock and roll. So here's the pieces of equipment that I have pulled out of here so we can give them a whirl and see how they get along. Again, these are all how they come as stock or standard, but I wanted to do some pretty cool customizations to stuff. So there you go. And for people that like stuff that actually looks like it's supposed to look on your farm, customization options like this may be exactly what you want to go for. So we got some green beans here. Let's go ahead, drop it down, turn it on, and we will cut right into this green bean field. There we go. And it might take you a minute. I forgot how this harvester works because I got so irritated with vegetables that I didn't do them anymore after like a month of the game. But as you can see, we got green beans rocking and rolling down there at the very bottom. We will harvest, and then we stop, and they keep going because they have to be processed. Green beans doesn't look like we're going to be filling up too fast with these, although, as we mentioned, the most unrealistic version of this harvester matches that of the harvester that we've got in the base game, with one exception. That awesome 9-meter working width, which, by the way, if you're somebody like me and you really like using GPS, yeah, you can use it, and yeah, it offsets it for you. That's so cool. Peas are the same. So this is a pea harvester, so you are able to just dig right in and rock and roll with this one. Might be irritating people that I'm just cutting through the middle of the field. I'm so sorry about that. Again, you could use your GPS if you want to. I'll turn those lines off just so you don't have to deal with that. Yes, it works with a worker. All of that is normal stuff. And the greatest thing about this is with peas, you normally get a very, very, very high yield off of those. As you can see, just from what we've done so far, we are up to 16%, and we're at 2,600, 2,700. This is amazing. Plus, it just looks normal. It's great. And it's not crazy modified either. Well, that deer's like, oh, I'm out of here, baby. Now, as far as the green beans go, I did talk to BB Mods about this. Shot him a message, actually, like, I don't know, 10 minutes ago. I was like, hey, so as far as spinach goes, it doesn't hold a lot. And it's 30% of the one that's in the base game. And he asked me to just go through and test it really quickly. It does sound like he's going to be adding some other capacities, or maybe just some higher capacities in general for these. So if you guys are using green beans or something, don't worry. However, to answer his question live, yes, it fills up pretty quick. Oh, and if you don't like those working markers, you can turn those off. It's just a working mode. Just simply turn them off. You are good to go, no worries. So now that you've seen the vegetable harvester, let's jump into the world of root crop harvesting. Now we're talking onions, and we got the Lighttraxx in here. Oh, yeah, say Lighttraxx, OptiTrax. Yeah, same thing in it. I don't know. I don't use this. I don't have no idea. This bad boy is gonna do onions for us. Oh yeah, rock and roll. Does it pretty quick as well. I'm not running an unrealistic speed mod. However, if I do turn that on, we can bump that up to about 16 miles an hour, but you don't have to. This is super duper nice. Now, I do know that after harvesting onions, at least with the Halara stuff that we get in the DLC, you do get something called like dirty onions, and then the conditioner and windrow kind of cleans them and turns them into clean onions or regular onions. I don't know if this is doing any of that, but I do know that this is way easier than using some of that base game stuff. However, this is also way more expensive, so you do get what you pay for. So there's that. Honestly, I would rather use this in a 3-meter configuration than the stuff in the base game anyway, so there is that. But yeah, this works great. Of course, you've got your harvesting, you've got your steering assist, GPS, all that good stuff. And don't forget, this also works with the other sugar beets, red beets, and potatoes as well. However, I think its true glory shines with onions. Now, if we take a look at the trailed harvester, do I need a Clausarian? No. Did I want one? Yes. Very much so. So this is, I guess, kind of like the regular harvester, except at the end of the day, this has a wider working width. It does. And, well, it holds less. So there's that as well. It is unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. It's also probably recommended to get something with a big engine in it. You'll be happy that you did. Look at that, 50% already. That's crazy, man. That is absolutely crazy. Those onions are coming in about as hard as they possibly can. So this one's this piece of equipment may be a 2-person job, or hire this on a worker and then you could cart for it. But as you can see, like, we did that much, and we are full already. So you're probably going to need to hire somebody to help you out. Also, the good thing is you'll get those onions out of the ground pretty darn fast. And I think that is a bonus. The last piece of equipment we'll take a look at is the topper. Now you can see we've got sugar beet on there, so I need that field to be sugar beet. Too easy as always. So these two pieces of equipment can be worked with in combination with each other. However, you will need to run both of them. So there we go. What you guys think about this mod pack? It is, I think, very cool. Bit game changing. It's also kind of a deviation. Think of Colossus. You know, Colossus is crazy all the time. I love that. I love it so much, and you have no idea how much I love it. I'll tell you I love it, and you've seen me play Farming Simulator for like, what, 8 years now? But I love it so much. But something like this, I think, works a little bit better in either a series, or if you don't like unrealistic stuff, it's a good way to dip your toe into it. Or if you like to fully customize stuff. Like, look at this. I mean, this is an empty piece of equipment from the base game, and we are currently chopping off the tops of sugar beets. We could do the same thing with potatoes if we wanted to. And I've got it looking like a Halaris. That's pretty cool. That's very cool indeed. So it gives you another opportunity to do things a little bit different. Man, look at all that equipment off in the background. I have made a mess of this video today, but it is still super duper awesome. I want to give a big shouty outie to BB Dude. He's actually been messaging me quite a bit more as I'm finishing up this video, giving any tips and tricks, anything like that, any questions that I had. So big thank you to him for that, for spending his time with me this morning. I hope you guys have enjoyed as well. Thank you for spending your time with me as well. It's a lot of fun to bring you guys really cool videos like this of stuff that is coming soon. Now, If you want to know when this is happening, so there's a couple different ways that you do. Number one, you can always take a look at the mod hub. Is it there yet? Then yeah, it's here. If it's not there, then it's not here. You could also check out BB Dude. I've got his itch page as well as his fan page linked down below. He'll be posting some stuff for you guys whenever it's released, so that is nice. You could also stay tuned for some news and the new mod videos to find out when these are going to be out. And hey, you may be watching this in a year or two and it's been out for a while and you were just curious how it works. And if that's you, hey, shout out to you as well. Thanks for coming back and hanging out with me. Nonetheless, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, get subscribed if you're new, join the GoHam fam, turn on your notifications. That way you never miss videos like this one. Hope you have an awesome day. Hope you're pumped for these mods like I am. We'll see you in the next one.